Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am Julian, and this is lovely Leah on the other side of the world and also screen. And this is the show and webcast called Shine Your Light in a big way. And we're going to share some beautiful things which are connected with awakening, enlightenment, and embodiment, which is kind of the last layer of it for those who are choosing it. So, Leah, I will invite you to say a few words, to say hello, and then I'll explain some more.
Okay, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. And I'm very excited about this co-creation with Julian. We've been talking about it for some time, and I feel like it can be very inspiring because both of us are all about shining our lights in a big way. So yeah, that's it.
All right. Thank you. Lovely introduction, which gave me the idea how to proceed now. And I will share also the subtitle of this creation with you, which is, let me put it this way, so it's going to be expressed very clearly. Best advices for people in the awakening, enlightenment, and embodiment journey. That is something I've been feeling in these days. And advice is sometimes a strong word, because I also want to point out always that there are as many different paths and journeys towards your freedom as there are beings in the universe. So it's always your own which is going to really take you there. But we also know that we learn a lot while exploring the earth and the universe, and that each and every creator has got a lot of wisdom to share. And that is exactly what we are also doing here. It was inspired from the goodness of our hearts, by the passion of our soul, and not necessarily always the joy of the human to do all of these things. So I will invite Leah here to share a little bit of her experience, like the essence about how her soul feels when we are sharing all of this, and also the things that the human is thinking about when we are going into these wonderful conscious explorations.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I love what you said about the advices, is that we give like advices based on our own experience. So we are speaking from what we've lived. So it's the most truthful thing for us. It's our experience in this advice, and each person that watches this or any advice will resonate with that, because it is like connected to what they are living to. So we kind of give advice to those who will resonate with that, and that's very beautiful how the content finds the right public. And in a soul level, I feel totally like this is the most natural thing, and that I'm just shining always. So yeah, let's just shine. It's not difficult. But for the human, sometimes it's not so funny. My human doesn't like to be seen so much. She likes more quiet places and no people around. And that's one of my greatest challenges in this life, because my soul wants to be seen in a way, like I want to shine the light to everyone and inspire the whole planet. And at the same time, the human doesn't want that. And it's been interesting. It's been 1 year since I created my website and started to show my story and share my story. And through this whole year, it's been like ups and downs, and what the soul wants and what the human wants, and how to deal with everything and put it all together.
Thank you for sharing this so openly, so bravely. and open-heartedly, because I always love to point out that it's not always so easy for the human side of us, for the mental and body side of us, to do the steps which are very natural and normal for our master self, for our soul self, for our brilliant self, whichever expression you want to use. And I would like to share with you now, after this sweet introduction, I would love to share a background story, how the idea happened for us to share what we are sharing here. And we share a lot with Leah privately for the last year, and we chat on many occasions, and we are exploring consciousness and different possibilities. And lately, especially, the focus is on graceful enlightenment, or let's call it as graceful as it gets, because I've never seen any being to do it without any issues. Not until now in all of creation. It might change in the future, also on the basis of the work that the two of us and all of you who are also feeling attracted and connected with this consciousness, that all of us are doing, actually. Because we are creating the new energetic pathways. So it will be much more easy. I'm not going to call it exactly easy, but it can be easier and also lovelier and more joyful and more understandable for the next generations. And it is a big work. It's our passion, not necessarily, again, our human passion, but it is our big soul passion. And I guess if you are watching this, it is in one way or the other also your soul passion to aspire, you know? And it doesn't mean you have to do it through that kind of shows. It can be a quiet life, just being in the world while embodying or remembering your divinity, with other words. So this is the background story, and we really enjoy our talks. And I started suggesting some time ago that we could also do some recorded ones, because in the past I recorded a lot of them, and some of you know it, you know me from before, and you know I was so dedicated from the depths of my heart to help the world to embody higher consciousness. And in this version that we are sharing here now, in this shine your lights, that can mean many things for different people, but in the essence, we feel it's like being authentic in your true nature, which you truly are, not just identifying yourself with the limitations that we usually reside in this earthly reality. So we were exploring these potentials, many different incredible topics. I always say when we have these private talks, like, we should be recording all the time, Leah, everything. And it felt lovely, so we decided to record at first one show and feel how this potential can open up. There is no plan, there is no expectation. It is simply for the joy, for the wisdom, for inspiration. And here we are. And because I love making rhymes, you know, the last word was inspiration. I'm going to talk today about validation. But before I start doing this, I would also like to hear Leah's perspective of this background story that I just shared.
Yes, it's a lovely story. Actually, I just said that I created the website 1 year ago, and we started talking because of that. Because just a few months after I put it out on Facebook, you send me a message, Julian sent me a message, and then we started like having these conversations, and it's been also a great part of this journey. It's connected, absolutely connected from the beginning. So it's very beautiful that we are finally doing this show and sharing a little bit of all the wisdom we've already shared for such a long time, so to speak, but just a time before. And also, I want to say this thing about shining your light. I felt like it also gets to each person in a way. Like I said, it can mean shine your light for me can mean that I will do a show and share. But for some people, it can mean something totally different. Like I will just like prepare some cake and this is shining my light because this is coming from my heart and this is authenticity. So this shine your light is just I feel like when we are doing this, we are providing this feeling of safety, like yes, it's safe to be you, it's safe to do what you want, let's just do it together. And it's a very beautiful name.
I'm just gonna ask you, Leah, to repeat the last sentence because the audio broke a little bit, so we are very clear about what you shared. Just the last one.
Okay. That we are providing safety and that we can shine. Like it's safe to shine and we can do it together.
All right, thank you. You see, that was a good point for the audio to broke. We probably created it because the last sentence that she then mentioned is like very essential for everything. So it was a good repetition for everything that's being created here. My perspective is from my deep experiences in this lifetime and also in a lot of others, but I'm gonna share mostly from this lifetime now. Safety is essential to be able to embody and live in your light. I had many challenges on my side with safety, with the human part, not feeling safe. And I can tell you very, very honestly that the more I am allowing myself to create circumstances in which my human can feel safe, the easier it lets my soul in, so to speak. It's not the exact science, these words, but they will suffice for the purpose of our discussion, you know, because when you say let the soul in, the soul is present all the time, but for the sake of our imagination and easier dialogue here, because there are going to be very different people watching these shows, and these shows are also created on different energetic levels. You receive out of these transmissions exactly what you feel like receiving or what you're ready for or what's the most appropriate in this moment, because it's very multi-layered and multi-leveled. Also for both of us with Leah, because in these lovely shows, I love to play with my soul and allow my soul to really express through me, also through my human part. And just for the sake of understanding, because there are going to be, like I mentioned, in the next years or later on, many different people coming in touch with this material. I want to just point out that in a very simple explanation, your being is constituted from three parts, and we can call them mind, body, and your soul. It's going to be a very simplified explanation. But for the sake that everybody can understand, I will not be mentioning this later on, but because it's the first show, I want to be clear, because a lot of people are going to be listening to the first show at first when they come in touch with this lovely conscious material. So yeah, it's like our eternal limitless part, which was never wounded or whatever. Then we have the human experiencing this reality, also called the earth, and the human can be expressed as the mind and the body. Kind of a very, I can joke a little bit, but can you feel, it's not a lot. Like the human feels very complex, but all in all, it's simply the mind and the body. and some
Mm-hmm.
other energies. And I feel Leah wants to jump in now because I feel she's inspired to share something about it.
Yeah, I feel like it is pretty a simple thing. And I was just like feeling into this timelessness of this recording, like the whole expansion of this through time, linear time. And it was a very good feeling. And yes, I've been feeling a lot of this, what we call the I exist, that is like this soul, you can call it too, or just this feeling that you are the universe. I feel like this is the most simple way to explain it, because some people have had a glimpse of that, of I am the universe, and some kind of meditation. Sometimes some people get that, and I feel like this is the most close that I can get to explain how I feel the I exist. And I'm feeling so much that lately, like in comparison with the human. So there is the mind, the body, and there is all of that I am. And embodying this, it's been very, very interesting, because the human is less and less trying to understand. Before, I wouldn't feel so much of this great feeling, because I was always trying to measure and understand that. And now I am letting go of this need to measure and understand, and it's being more interesting to stay on earth with this perspective.
All right. All right. I exist, you mentioned the closest word in general understanding would be like you are the whole universe.
Yeah.
Excellent. I just wanted to point out this because it felt very natural. There are some of you who are just coming in touch with this material because you're awakening and you feel in yourself there is so much more, and you've been living in this limited world. There are some of you who are very experienced, so to speak. Some of you are light workers. Let me call it this way. Some of you are identifying yourself as light workers. Some of you are identifying yourself as Shambra, and so on and so on. They are different. And some of you are simply on your own and playing in this world as the lonely wolves, or if I share it a little bit in a funny way. So I want to make it very, very clear that certain shows are going to go deeper into the energy, and certain ones are going to be more like opening the doors. And I never plan it. Let's be clear. I didn't prepare for this show in any usual way, because I allow my soul, my essence, to simply come through me and play. We do it exactly the same when we do the private talks with Leah. And it amazes me in what kind of incredible topics, and they're not just mental topics at all. They're absolutely the energetic explorations. And also these webcasts, Shine Your Light, are energetic explorations. So they're not like some intensive transformational courses. I actually recorded, so I tell a little bit about myself to those who are watching me for the first time, or you're more new to my sharings. I recorded a lot in the last 5-7 years, many courses, many different expressions, which were also very direct, more like pure consciousness simply shining its light. And I have a special website for it. You will be able to approach it when I share it. And there are some incredible conscious direct explorations and transmissions recorded, which can really serve you to shift beyond limitations. In this version that we are sharing with Leah now, and some others who are going to come along, it's more about graceful enlightenment, graceful remembrance of your true nature. We are not here about simply let's go beyond, let's just shift with consciousness. No, that's not my way anymore. I'm not saying, a lot of people are still doing it in that way, and that's okay. I was one of the grandest pioneers of doing, let's just do it. And we moved a lot. But I will be very honest. It was many times with the big expense on my human side. It meant a lot of pain sometimes for my human to just shift, because when you just go into the consciousness and expand, you also feel your limitations also in the body very deeply. And what we are lately very passionately exploring with Leah, also in our own lives, that's coming from examples. It's not like a theoretical science here. It's very real. And it doesn't mean that we're always completely successful, like, but what is success? That's another good question. I'm going to speak for me, and she can tell then for herself. I'm passionately and courageously and also lovingly choosing, after the world has gone through the conscious reset, I feel that enough energy and light is now on the planet. And now I invite all those of you, as I'm inviting myself, who resonate with it, that you can integrate yourself in a more loving, graceful, and easier way. There are different reasons why many of us in the past have just gone through it, like pirates, we want to say sometimes. But for me, now it's much more about listening also to the human side. How much can it handle? When it needs a lot of time for itself? When it feels too afraid to just allow the soul in? And when it's the time to move it out of the comfort zone step by step. Because in the past, I just went out of the comfort zones directly into my pure divinity consciousness. I came in touch with that very deeply. It's also from where I recorded some incredible energetic transmissions. But now it's like about integrated, embodied experience for me, and being done with as much compassion, softness, love, understanding, also for the human side of the story. Because let's be clear, without human, there is no soul on earth. There is no expanded consciousness on earth, because after all, the human was the one so brave to say, yes, let's open up and remember who we truly are, and like that, inspire and aspire so much.
Yes, so beautiful. I feel like compassion towards ourselves is one of the most difficult things. And from my personal experience, I can say that I've been feeling a lot of compassion in my being. Like I feel, especially when I changed my name to Leah, I felt like compassion just blossomed so beautifully. And there's lots of compassion, and I realized how I could always be compassionate with everyone's stories, like, oh, it's okay if you are still doing that. It's okay if you are still playing that game, and always understanding other people, but not really being able to understand that my human was also needing that compassion. Like, okay, human, it's okay if you still like to play this pattern, but we are having more clarity now. We can make the choice to change it, but when you are ready to do that, and when I say to my human part that it's okay and I am compassionate towards myself, then it just flows very, very smoothly and fast, like faster than saying how stupid I am to believe in this shit again. Because I felt so guilty, because I was like, okay, I am conscious that I am doing this and I'm repeating this, so I must be stupid. But If I just change and no, I'm not stupid, I'm just in an old habit. What if I can accept that this is an old habit and change it, let's say slowly, but it's not slow because then it goes faster, but just more gracefully and with acceptance and truly understanding why this is happening. Yeah.
Wonderful. So just changing the narrative, because the perception creates reality. Because if I just add on to what you shared, because I really enjoyed what you shared, like the essence of compassion, because that was something that was very hardly felt for my human expression. And I needed to very consciously open up to compassion. And I'm still doing it. You see, we're not trying to present here some perfect human or perfect master, because that's bullshit. I'm gonna be very direct here. Anyone who's selling like there is perfection and the perfect journey for the mastery or self-mastery, I would say they're very delusional. That's just me. But Leah probably agrees, and many of you. And it's not a judgment, it's just like having a good laughter. Because I said we're going to keep these shows very easy flowing and also laughing, although we are addressing some, let's go, serious topics, which are very nice to be, let's say, explored. And for me, this essence of compassion that she mentioned was and is one of the best things I can feel into, because the clarity is usually very natural to me. And when I meld it with compassion, and first of all towards myself, because I was my biggest judge in all these years, and let me reassure you, in my opinion, it's very much the same for most people. We are our own biggest judges. Sure, it's been then manifested on the outside as well. But you see, this being strict towards yourself, like, it's a very interesting aspect that we can talk about, because we all know it, and it's also connected with perfection. That's why we're mentioning it, you know, because this aspect would say the more perfect we are, the better job we did, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But where does this end? How many partners can I have to be fulfilled? How many millions or billions can I have to be fulfilled? How young do I have to be fulfilled? I'm not saying that these things are not totally amazing if you can experience it on earth, and I'm all for it. Sure, let's be young, let's look beautiful, let's have a lot of money at our disposal, let's create, let's have fun. But essential energy behind it, and that's connected with the, okay, I'm just getting the clarity back. That was a good example. You see, you just have to move your magic wand and then it's clarified. This is the topic of validation that I wanted to shortly mention today. We might go in some other explorations deeper into it if we're going to choose so. And there are also a lot of courses from me and some others who created them to help us all who are choosing it to get out of the story of unworthiness. Because unworthiness can be a big preventer from allowing your soul to exist with you in your everyday life. Because then you feel like you are not worthy of your soul. And you can be a very advanced light worker, Shambra. That doesn't mean that there is not this aspect alive in you. I would actually say there is in many. I'm all honest here. And it's nothing bad. If we just simply see it from the compassionate side, it's just like, okay, we left this one for the grand finale, because we are finally able for the finals now to see also our part that maybe didn't feel worthy of receiving the soul or divine. And many, many, many people in lives just like me, just like Leah, are subconsciously and also consciously looking for validation in one way or the other through the outside illusionary world. And it's nothing wrong with it. This game of duality is exquisite, it's special, it's crazy as well. It can be painful, it can be many things, but it's a hell of experience. That's what we have to agree on. All of us, it's a hell of experience. You can hate it, but you're still gonna say it's a hell of experience, just like I do sometimes very clearly. And before I give the word to Leah, you see how connected it is. Before I was mentioning, can I have this wonderful partner, or for some many partners, whatever resonates with you, a lot of money, young looks, projects successful, and so on. I feel it can all be part of our lives, even if we are allowing embodied mastery, some of us, or remembering our soul nature, divinity, whichever expression, embracing that we are the universe in itself, each and every one of us. But you see, if there is an underlying layer of still trying to prove ourselves, and I was going through it a lot, and I'm still releasing it totally from my field, because if I want to be something, it's like, yeah, I'm walking with all of you at the forefront of creation, and I'm this grand, amazing master, and at the same time, I'm also a very normal human with all its wounds and experiences in life, which need to be integrated and wisdomized. And let's stop being ashamed of it, if you ask me, or try to be more masters than humans, or more humans than masters. This is something that Leah shared so beautifully before. Kind of, that's my invitation. I'm going to be very clear. It's not like I'm saying you have to do it. You do whatever you want to do it. This show is for free. This show is free. It's just here to aspire, and I'm saying it for me, and you can feel whatever you'd like to. And if you feel inspired, I'm joyful, and if you don't, that's your thing. No, not a problem at all. So yeah, it's connected. It can be still the force in our lives, sometimes very subconsciously, parts of us who need the validation from the outside. It's not easy to completely cut the cords with that. We're trying to do it gracefully with Leah, to really be then in our own sovereignty. And this is kind of the main topic I also, beside our introduction today, wanted to share with all of you, how I'm so passionate about going beyond any limits and really being my creatorship and sovereignty beyond any validation, and still how to handle all the outside world where the society is completely built on validation, and how to kind of gracefully shift from one way of functioning completely into the other one.
Beautiful, beautiful topic.
Thanks.
Yes, I feel like this is a very, very important thing, not to try to present ourselves as the fully integrated, realized, embodied beings, because I felt a lot of this need with like creating a website called the Your Life, like the Your Life. Oh my God, why did I put this name? It's so bold and it's so real, because it is like, it's something that came from my truth. It's not just a fancy name. It is something very, very truthful to me. But some human part was trying to relate this name to perfection, to being done with everything, having nothing else to learn, and the journey is over, so now I can inspire others. And actually, this is absolutely not like that. And one thing that I've watched a live show, and the person shared, like, our journeys are endless because we are infinite. So we always have something more to learn. We always have something more to experience. We always have a deep layer to explore. So it's always a journey. It's just the beginning of all things and of more experience. So we will never be perfect in a human way. We will never be, and we will never like reach the end, because we'll always have more to experience. So that's just more exciting.
There's always more to explore, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I kind of forgot. We only have 1 minute left because we said we're gonna keep this shows short and sweet. So I'm just gonna say thank you very much to all of you who will ever be watching this. I enjoyed it very much. Thank you very much, Leah, for joining me. You want to say a few more words for goodbye? We got some seconds.
Okay. Yes, just thank you, Julian, so much for this beautiful co-creation, and thank you everyone that watched it and joined this creation with consciousness and energy as well.
Thank you. So, dear beloved ones, you are all invited to shine your light. You're beautiful. You are amazing. Thank you very much.